which brings me to my next point. Um, the whole thing, what I was getting at about the whole, they call it the abolitionist a traitor to his race because he's trying to help. He's just trying to help the blacks. I mean, he's not a traitor to his race. He's trying to help the freed black slaves, you know, rebuild, the South after the Civil War. I mean, they weren't trying to take over the country as portrayed in this movie. I mean, it was absurdity, and it was sickening, and like. Which brings me to my next point. I mean, this I actually looked up because I was kind of confused. I mean, there's scenes of blacks beating up blacks, and I was like, why is this? And I did some research because I was confused by this, and it turns out that this did happen. Blacks were beating up blacks because they were trying to get them to vote so that the abolitionist Lynch would get into power, in the as elected as the governor. South Carolina, so that the blacks would have some say and some power, after being freed, and so that is true. I mean, that is factually true, and I mean that's sad, in its own regard that they were beating up their own race. I mean, it's terrible, but it was a terrible time, and then what's my next point? Oh, there's this whole scene where a black soldier chases one of the Cameron sisters through the forest, and it ends with the Cameron girl jumping to her death, but not before her brother, the colonel, who went off to war and then came back, finds her, and she tells them the whole thing, about how the black soldier, he was gonna rape me, and because all blacks are horrible, they're terrible people. They should be enslaved. They don't have any right or anything. And of course, this black soldier was, portrayed by a white actor in blackface because apparently there was a law, and this is fucked up in its own regard. There was a law back then that actual black actors couldn't be on stage with white women. I mean, how fucked up is that? I mean, that's horrible. I mean, it's terrible. They claim that blacks couldn't follow orders, and I was sickened when I read that law that they couldn't allow black actors to be on the same stage with a woman. That's horrible. I mean, this is years and years. I mean, this is during the filming of the movie. I mean, how racist and unequal can you get? I mean, it's horrible. And of course, the girl jumps to her death because she figures I mean, the black man just wanted to marry the black soldier. He just wanted to marry her, and and then she just jumps to her death rather to be I mean, he wasn't gonna rape her. He wanted to marry her because he was a single black man, and they had passed a law saying that there could be integrated interracial marriage, and he just wanted to marry her, not rape her. They're not. I mean, it's just I'm having a hard time talking about this because I'm just so sickened by it. So I'm just going to continue on. It's horrible. It's really really sad. I think that this first movie is just so stained with racism. It's really sad. I feel bad for so many people. All the blacks that have suffered through all this and this ignorance and racism. It's horrible. But moving on, yeah, and then when they bring the Cameron sister back to the mansion, the black servants start crying for her because she's dead. I mean, once again, you should be happy and thrilled that your master is dead. I mean, you shouldn't be crying for her. They're the enemy. They are the ignorant, racist people that enslaved you in the first place. I mean, you should have left when you were freed. I mean, you were free to leave. I mean, it must be Stockholm syndrome that these people, are staying and working for obvious, people that are racist. I mean, it's horrible. And then when they're searching for, to take the black soldier to a fair trial. Yeah, right. I stress that word, fair. There's this absurd fight scene where one white man is able to beat up 8 black men, and there's this one absurd shot where he has a grown man over his head, and he throws the man into 6 black men. It was just absurd, and like it made me think like, oh, they're making the black man out to look weak. I mean, it's just another sickening part of this movie. And then of course, they catch the black soldier. His name was Gus, actually. And of course they bring him by trial by the KKK, and there's even a card that reads guilty, and of course they beat him up and they probably lynch him, but of course I'm surprised they didn't show that in the movie itself, but and another thing, why the need for the card with D.W. Griffith's name on it, no less, once again putting his name on his cards, his title cards, a title card that just says guilty. I mean, that's just absurd. I mean, it's so stupid, to have a title card that says guilty on it. I mean, I think, if a black man is being tried by the KKK, you know what the outcome is going to be. I mean, they're going to lynch him, and then which brings me to my next point. The abolitionists and who have been appointed to power in the South, in Piedmont, arrest Cameron, who's he comes up with the idea for the KKK to begin with, and they arrest him, and the servants are upset. Mind you, this is the black servants. They're upset that Cameron has been arrested. The man who invented the KKK, why would you be upset? Once again, Stockholm Syndrome. I mean, it's horrible. It's really horrible. And they free him. They free him, no less. And then they go off into, they go off to this little cabin out in the middle of nowhere, and there's these two Union soldiers who had fought against Cameron in the Civil War, but because of Aryan birthright, they get along, and they band together and hide Cameron in their cabin. And which makes me think maybe this is foreshadowing of the Nazis and the whole master race, because of the Aryan birthright. I mean, that made me think of Hitler and the whole master race issue. Anyway, it's just, and then the whole the town, shots of the KKK getting together to come and take over the black mob rule of the town, because the town is overrun by crazy black militia, and there's shots of the KKK all in their stupid bed sheets, and they're riding on their horses in bed sheets, and they come into the town, of course, and it makes me wonder, all those people. I mean, there's a shot where there's a good 50 people dressed up as KKK members, and it just makes me think, I mean, what were these people thinking, being dressed up as a KKK? I mean that just makes you a fucking racist as far as I'm concerned. And I mean, how dare you, profit off of the KKK, the most racist, the most racist group and the most horrible, group, maybe next to the Nazis. Next to the Nazis, they're the most horrible group ever. As far as it comes to racism, I mean, that's it. And you want to be portrayed as a KKK member in a movie? I mean, it must have been a different time. I mean, I don't know what D.W. Griffith was thinking, but if he didn't know what was going on, I mean, he's not the smart director that a lot of people claim him to be, regardless of the birth of the nation. And it was just absurd. And then worse, the KKK comes and they save the day. They save the day, and this is the first movie ever that I've seen where the bad guys win. I mean, it was sickening to me. I'm just,